Hey, take it back, y'all. Hey, hold on.
Stop, rock it out, baby, bubba to the boogity bang bang, the boogie to the boogity beat.
Let's go back, y'all.
Now what you hear is not a test, I'm rapping to the beat. And me, the groove, and my friends are gonna try to move your feet. You see, I am Wonder Mike, and I like to say hello. Up to the black, to the white, the red, and the brown, the purple, and yellow. But first, I gotta bang, bang, the boogie to the boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the bang, bang, boogie. Let's rock. You don't stop, rock the rhythm that'll make your body rock. Well, so far you've heard my voice, but I brought two friends along. And next on the mic is my man Hank. Come on, Hank, sing that song.
Check it out. When I'm imp the dimp, the ladies pimp, the women fight for my delight. But I'm the grand master with the 3 MCs.
Let me just play that in the back real quick. Hold up. What up? Welcome to the Black and Sugar Girl Red. So today, it's August 12th, but this episode will be entitled August 11th, 1973. Yesterday was Hip Hop's birthday, 44th birthday. So I took it upon myself, with me being just like a huge hip hop head. I just wanted to kind of give like a history lesson to kind of help the people out, young people that don't know, the old people that think they know but they may forget. So I just want to kind of, take a trip back down memory lane, whatever, and just I'm gonna play a couple clips from a couple songs from like at least the last 4 decades of hip hop. And so let me give you the history of how it all started. DJ Kool Herc in the Bronx, August 11th, 1973, was throwing a back to school party for the kids up there, and he was the DJ Kool Herc, of course. So basically how hip hop came about, and this is just from my point of view, my synopsis, and nothing's official. Some of these things are official. Do your Googles, read your articles, watch your documentaries, whatever you feel like furthers the education of where this music came from. So it came from the Bronx, New York City, whatever. And it starts with the DJ, 2 turntables and a microphone. The DJ then is assisted by the MC, which will be the rapper that's the title today. The MC, then you had the break dancing, and then the break dancing turns into the fashion, and the fashion turns into the lifestyle, the culture that we all have come to love, entitled hip hop. And of course, it wasn't just DJ Kool Herc. You had, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. You had Red Alert and a couple other DJs that started back in the 70s, 73. But the song that I started out with was Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang. You still hear it playing underneath. That actually was the start of how hip-hop became mainstream. That song did not become mainstream until 1979. So we're at the end of the disco era. We're about to come into the 80s. But that was when a lot of rappers that was coming up. I remember watching a couple docs over the years, and they really was considering this song, Rapper's Delight, was a little sugary, a little watered down version of what the hip hop was. It originates in the streets, and the streets was a lot more, grimy and gritty. So they just felt like this song wasn't like the sure message that they wanted to get across, that it's introduced to the world basically that this was hip hop. So then this song that I'm about to play next is The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. Let's get into that.
makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
Broken glass everywhere. People pissing on the stage, you know they just don't care. I can't take the smell, can't take the noise. Got no money to move out, I guess I got no choice. Rats in the front room, rollers in the back, junkies in the alley with the baseball bat. I tried to get away, but I couldn't get far, cause a man with a touch repossessed my car. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head.
So basically, I feel like, for me, my point of view, the message was like the first storytelling of like hip hop. Basically, they was just giving that rundown of how it looked in their hood, like what it was looking like to them, and it really brought you into like where these people are and the distress that the community was in, and the reason why they do that. This music is like a reason, like a form of therapy. It's a let me tell y'all what's going on here, and while I'm feeling like I'm at my breaking point, but I'm trying not to like really snap on them. You know what I'm saying? That's the message version of the hip hop album from Red's point of view. But yeah, so then we get into the 80s. And the 80s was really big for like the big growth. That's when I feel like hip hop started to get its flashy side, and you had rappers like you had the super group, of course, Run DMC, and Run DMC. What they brought to it was it was the MC and the DJ, and it was coming out of Hollis, Queens. So you see how it's starting to spread within New York, but it's still like hip hop's already here because the Rapper's Delight was so big, and now everybody's like looking for that next thing. So it was Run DMC. It was the 80s was Run DMC, Big Daddy Kane, Public Enemy. There was a lot of groups, the Beastie Boys. You had, I think, the Birth of Def Jam happened within the 80s, so you had LL Cool J was coming along, and a couple other up and coming rappers that we now holding like the hip hop prestige. They're on a pedestal. I mean a pedestal. Sorry, I'm getting excited. But let me not forget, back in the 70s, before we get into the 80s, you had the groups like Africa Bambaataa. You had Blondie, Spoonie G, Curtis Blow with the breaks. You know what I'm saying? So then it just parlayed into this right here. That gave you Sucker MCs.
2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me to say some MC rhyme, so I said this rhyme I'm about to say. The rhyme was there, but then it went this way. Took a test to become an MC, and Orange Cliff became amazed at me, so Larry put me inside. He got to laugh. The show was drove off and we never came back. Dave set the record down to the bone, and now they got me rocking on the microphone, and then we talking autograph. And cheers and laughs, champagne, caviar, and bubble bath. You see, that's the life that I lead, and you sucker MC, and you IP. So take that and move back, catch a heart attack, because there's nothing in the world that run the level like a cold chill at a party in the keyboard stand, and rock on the mic and make the girls wanna dance. Fly like a dove and come from up above. I'm knocking on the mic and you can call me Russ Love.
Yeah. Run went off. There you go, front and DMC came in. It was just so ill, like when you sit back and just watch how all this shit came about, and how did Run DMC make Adidas just like the it brand. And I remember watching the doc again, because I was born in 86, so I wasn't, that was 6 years into the 80s, so I really wasn't knowledgeable, but I love to go back to the things of the past, and especially when it comes to this music, I love to educate myself and learn, in which where it comes from and things like that. So at the concert, they had everybody was rocking their. They had a song, My Adidas, and they had everyone take off one shoe, just one shoe, and everyone in the whole stadium seemed to be wearing shell-toe Adidas. The rest is just like it. That became just one of those pinnacle things in hip hop fashion. And I'm looking, me personally, in 2017. I'm still looking for some shell toes, like some dope ones. You know what I'm saying? With the track suit, I need all that, and I got a gold rope chain, so I'm ready for whenever we ready to go back there, because everything comes full circle as far as like fashion goes. And sometimes with music, I don't think this flow is gonna come back, but it's something that's monumental. So within the 80s, like I said, you had a lot of different artists coming up, but this guy, Big Daddy Kane, though, my dude was was dancing. Like, I think probably one of the first rappers that was just out here openly dancing in his music videos and things like that. So he had this joint called Ain't No Half Steppin'. Let's get into it.
With this, I'm just gonna sit here laid back to this nice mellow beat, you know, and drop some smooth lyrics. Cause it's 88, time to set it straight, you know what I'm saying? And there ain't no half stepping. Word, I'm ready. Rappers stepping to me, they wanna get some, but I'm the Kane, so yo, you know the outcome. Another victory, they can't get with me. So pick a BC date, cause you're history. I'm the authentic poet to get lyrical. For you to beat me, it's gonna take a miracle. And stepping to me, yo, that's a wrong move. So what you on, Hobbs? Dope or dog food? Competition, I just devour like a pit bull against a chihuahua. Cause when it comes to being dope, hot damn, I got it good. Now let me tell you who I am. The B-I-G-D-A-D-D-Y-K-A-N-E. Dramatic, Asiatic, not like many. I'm different, so don't compare me to another. Cause they can't hang, word to the mother. At least not with the principal in this pedigree. So when I roll on your rappers, you better be ready to die because you're petty. You're just a butter knife, I'm a machete. Displayed by Ginsu, wait until when you try to front so I can chop into your body. Just because you try to be basing, Friday the 13th, I'ma play Jason. No type of joke, that game, puzzle, or riddle. The name is Big Daddy, yes, big, not little, so define it. Here's your walking papers, sign it, and take a walk as the Canes start to talk, cause
see what I'm talking about? Big Daddy Kane jigging hard in the video too. But then you had other songs like, these stand out to you. This one always gonna be hard.
Battle anybody, I don't care, you tell. I excel, they all fail. Gonna go sales double almost.
And you had this one by the Boogie Down production.
Yo, what's up, Blast Master KRS-One? This jam is kicking. Word. Yo, what up, D Nice?
Yo, what's up, Scotland Rock?
Yo, man, we chillin' this funky fresh jam. I want to tell you a little something about us. We're the Boogie Down production crew. And due to the fact that no one outside there knew what time it was, we have to tell you a little story about where we come from. South Bronx, the South Bronx, South Bronx, the South Bronx.
Then you had this one when the Beastie Boys stepped on the scene. We was like, yo, well, these three white boys, bro. We thought hip hop was a black man's sport. The Beastie Boys taught us otherwise.
Mike Been had a little horsey named Paul Revere. Just me and my horsey in a quart of beer. Riding across the land, kicking up sand. Sharing parties on my couch cause I'm in demand. One lonely BCIP. All by myself without nobody. The sun is beating down on my baseball hat. The air is getting hot, the beer is getting fat. Looking for a girl, I ran into a guy. His name is MCA. I said howdy, he said hi.
Hey, that sounds crazy. You had it was fun, but then a couple things got ushered into our community, the crack era, Reaganomics, whatever you may call it. And so here comes this guy named Chuck D, and Chuck wanted to talk about it. He got tired of the bullshit. He's like, hold on, I gotta let y'all know what's up. So he dropped this one. Yeah, that's timeless right there. We still listen. We still play that for the injustice that we still have going on within our community. Shit's crazy. That shit came out in like 88, 89. You also had from the 80s. Before I get out of the 80s, you gotta pay homage to the God himself, Rakim. You know, Rakim for Eric B for president. I like EPMD. That was a lot of good rappers came up within the 80s. But I feel like, me personally, I feel like Public Enemy kind of ushered in that conscious rap, because in the 80s you had groups like NWA that was dropping songs like this.
Right about now, NWA quarters in full effect. Judge Dre resigning. In the case of NWA versus the police department, prosecuting attorneys are MC Ren, Ice Cube, and Easy motherfucking E. Order. Ice Cube, take the motherfucking stand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help your black ass? You goddamn right. But won't you tell everybody what the fuck you gotta say?
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown, and not the other color, so police think they have the authority to kill a minority. Fuck that shit, cause I ain't the one for a punk motherfucker
with a badge and a gun. Come on. And this shit still happening today. This is back in the 80s. But we gotta get up out of the 80s. The 80s had so much shit, but here's where I shine, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, boys of all boys and girls, children of all ages. Look at me. I'm so excited. Like, that's how hip hop gets me. Got me following and mumbling on my fucking words and shit. Let's fuck up. Let's go. So we about to get into, if you don't do this dance right here, we got an issue, G.
Stop what you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. I look funny, but yo, I'm making money, see? So yo, world, I hope you're ready for me. Now gather round. I'm the new fool in town, and my sound's laid down by the underground.
It's early 90s.
I drink a bottle of Hennessy you got on your shelf, so just let me introduce myself. My name is Humpty, pronounced with the Humpty.
Yeah, they still play that in the party. That'll get everybody jumping. That's the 90s. The 90s had so much feel-good rap in it. All of this was memorable, and seeing that it's August, it's only right to play this. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let that one flow off. This is Fresh Prince. Actually came out, I want to say the late 80s. You know, with parents just don't understand and things like that. A lot of people forget that Will Smith came from hip hop. That's where you gotta start from here.
Here it is, a groove slightly transformed. Just a bit of a break from the norm. Just a little something to break the monotony of all that hardcore dance that has gotten to be a little bit out of control. It's cool to dance, but what about a groove that soothes and moves romance? Give me a soft, subtle mix, and if it ain't broke, then don't try to fix it.
Don't do that. So then when you get into the 90s, it's a whole lot. I'm talking about, it's so, now hip hop is like fully like parlayed into something crazy. That's the third decade. Getting into about the third decade, if you will. And a lot of dope artists, groups were started within 90s hip hop that are still, some of them are still rocking today. Shout out to Jay. And then you have a lot of them that Jay and Nas, and then you had a lot of them that just left their mark, and they don't even have to drop anything else because their music is so timeless that it's still, you can still play it today and still find some kind of, you know what I'm saying, hook tied to what you're going through today. This is like kids and stuff. Like, you really feel like the hip hop that you're giving right now was, the start of it. But I really want y'all to go back, like, dig in the crates, let learn to love and respect and really pay homage to the music of beforehand, because that's how you get to see where you're about to, where it could go. So one of my favorite groups dropped this song. It's a Tribe Called Quest. They had this song called Scenario, and if y'all remember the video coming up, it had all kind of rappers on it, and it was just ill to see the video, because I don't think anything like that had happened, like a collaboration like that had happened. But check out my dude, Phife Dawg, I believe he starts the song. Check this out.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Ayo, Bono's
no batteries included and no strings attached, no holds barred. No time for move faking, got to get to loose so I can bring home the bacon. Brothers front, they say the chop can't flow, but we've been known to do the impossible like Broadway Joe. So sleep if you want, like who will help you get your Z's true. But here's the real scoop. I'm all that and then some. Sharp Dr. Handsome, bust a nut inside your eye to show you where I come from. I'm vexed, fuming. I've had it up to here. My days of paying dues are over. Acknowledge me is in there. Yeah. Head for the border, go get a taco. I see record from the jump street, meaning from the get-go. Sit back, relax, and let yourself go. Don't sweat what you heard, but act like you know. Yes, yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. Who got the vibe? It's the tribe, y'all. Tribe, y'all. Live, y'all. Live, y'all. Inside, outside, come around. Who's that? Brown. Some may I say.
Brown. That's my shit. I love that song. The Scenario had so many cameos and different people. I think even Busta Rhymes, kids. For those that don't remember who Busta is, I'm gonna play some Busta a little bit later on. But he was a part of a group called the Leaders of the New School. That's how Busta got his start. He was in that group, broke out, did his solo thing, flip mode. All those things came from something. I just want y'all to understand that. So you had the super groups like Wu-Tang, and then within Wu-Tang you had so many different solo artists: ODB, Method Man, RZA, GZA, Ghostface Killer. There's a lot in Wu-Tang. It's like 400 members or some shit like that. But they used to have some shit too. And then Tupac came along. Tupac was so he's a revolution. He's a revolutionary. Simple as that. Like, there's no way to get around it. But he also gave you tracks like, I'm gonna let you niggas know, bro. I get around.
Oh yeah. I get around. Still clown when I the crown when we come around. Stronger than ever. Back to get back. All respect to those who break their neck to keep their hopes in check, as though they sweat a brother majorly. And I don't know why your girl keeps paging me. She tell me that she needs me, cries when she leaves me, and every time she sees me, she squeeze me. Let me
take it easy.
Hate to sound sleazy,
but tease me. I want it if it's that easy. Hey yo, bust it. Yeah, I get around. And then Tupac had he had those radio gems, and then he had those deep cuts like I Ain't Mad at You, Keep Your Head Up, Hail Mary. He just had so many different tracks. But when you got Tupac, you also came across this guy.
Fuck all you hoes. Get a grip, motherfucker.
Yeah, this album is dedicated to all the teachers that told me I never amount to nothing. To all the people that lived above the buildings that I was hustling from, that called the police on me when I was just trying to make some money to feed my daughter. And all the niggas in the struggle, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, baby. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine, hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, rap attack Mr. Magic Marley Marl. I let my tape rock till my tape hot, smoking weed and bamboo, sipping on private stock.
Way back when I had the red and black lumberjack with the hat to match. You see how I did that, right? Because you know what I'm about to get into. So with hip hop being such a competitive sport, you knew some beef was brewing, right? But see, the beef did not just start back when Biggie and Tupac got into it. The beef started way back in the day. It was crews against crews, DJs against DJs, all those things. So beef didn't just start in the 90s. I think it just got a little bit hotter within the 90s. Excuse me. That's my take on it, because you had KRS-One and MC Shan, they went at each other with the Bridges Over and the South. Like, it's a lot to pack into this show. Like, there's a lot of music that I could play, but it's so much. Like, we got to keep going, because like I told you guys, hip hop's 44 years old. It's a lot of music you got to sift through, because it kept evolving and changing into something else and different, and everyone was a storyteller. But see, like, remember what I told you in the 80s, I feel like Grandmaster Flash really started the whole storytelling stuff. But then this kid came along.
Yeah.
You already know.
Hey, yo, Black, it's time, word. Word, it's time, man. It's time, man. Alright, begin. Yeah. Straight out the fucking dungeons of rap.
but fake niggas don't make it back. I don't know how to start this shit. Rappers are monkey flipping with the funky rhythm I be kicking. Musician, inflicting composition of pain. I'm like Scarface, sniffing cocaine, holding the M16. See with the pen I'm extreme. Now, bullet holes left in my peak holes. I'm suited up with
that New York state of mind. Yeah, you get into that. That's the Illmatic. Classic album, classic hip hop album, by the way. Let's see, this is New York. I've been playing a lot of New York for y'all. But see, there was two guys from Atlanta. You may know them by Outkast, correct? Right. So they stepped on the scene, and Atlanta officially took over hip hop since this point on. But you know, New York sift in and out of it, of course, naturally it had to. But it wasn't just Atlanta, it was out west. Hip hop had officially taken over the map. Everybody wanted to get a part of it. Get into this one.
One for the money, yes sir, two for the show. A couple of years ago, on head, lit and the low. What's the starter? Something good. Where me and my nigga rode the martyr through the hood, just trying to find that hook up. Now every day we looked up at the ceiling, watching ceiling fans go round, trying to catch that feeling off instrumental. Had my pencil and plus my paper. We caught the 86 lights on your head to Decatur, writing rhymes, trying to find our spot off in that light off in that spot, knowing that we can rock, doing the hole in the wall clubs. This shit here must stop, like freeze. We making the crowd move, but we not making no G's. And that
1 2 Outkast, ladies and gentlemen. Andre 3 Stacks, Big Boy. Yeah, there's a video clip on YouTube. You can look up. Outkast was at the Source Awards, I believe, and you know they was on some get these Bamas out of here because the South was not represented represented like that. Yeah, you had Uncle Luke. He was representing Miami, but he had that more that raunchy rap, so ain't nobody gonna boo that shit out. But these guys had a story to tell, and they gave you like their vision of what it is like to grow up in Atlanta in the South, and you know, just different points of views and things like that. This is one of my favorite songs, by the way, of course. But then you get into the I gotta get y'all back to the beef part, because there's this one beef song that will go down in history as like one of the hardest diss records we've ever heard to date. And if you already know where I'm about to go with it, then yeah, because this one still gets me like, it's a little hard to listen to, but Tupac did go off.
I ain't got no motherfucker. So I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker.
I love
West Side, bad boy killers. You know who the realest is, niggas. We bring them to you. First off, fuck your bitch in the clique you claim. West Side, when we ride, come equipped with game. You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife. We bust on bad boys, niggas fuck for life. Plus, Puffy trying to see me weak, hearts I rip. Biggie Smalls and Junior Mafia, some mark ass bitches. We keep on coming,
my Lord. That shit still hurt. And this has been like over like 2 decades, bro. But you know, me being me and who I am, I am tripping right now because I'm giving a lot of fellas of hip hop some shine. You know what I'm saying? But hip hop also got us ladies, of course. Back in the day, it was Queen Latifah, MC Light. You had Shantae Roxanne. It was just so many, but then like this young lady came along. This is 97, I believe, and she dropped one studio album, and it literally changed the face of music.
Yo, remember back on the Bully when cats used to harmonize like yo, my men and my women, don't forget about the dean. This is not the most the king, yo. It's about a thing, yo. Feel real good with your hands in the air and lick 2 shots in the atmosphere. were looking for your friend, the one you let hit it and never called you again. Remember when he told you he was about to Benjamins? You act like you ain't him, they give him a little trim to begin. Now you think you really gon' pretend like you wasn't down and you called him again. Plus when you give it up so easy, you ain't even fooling him. If you did it then you probably can. Talking out your neck saying you're a Christian, a Muslim, sleeping with the gin. Now that was the sin that did Jezebel in. Who you gonna tell when the repercussions spin? Showing off your ass cause you thinking it's a trend, girlfriend. Let me break it down for you again. You know I only said cause I'm truly genuine. Don't be a hard rock when you really are a gem, baby girl.
Respect is just the minimum. Woo! Well, Lauren kept telling you, now how you gonna win when you ain't right within? Come again. Right here. It's silly when girls sell their souls because of sin.
Look at where you be in. Hair weaves like Europeans. Fake nails done by Koreans. Come again.
Come again. Of course, in the 90s, you had the South was so heavy. I just had to take y'all back up north one time for the ladies. Shout out Lauren. Lauren Hill was in a group called the Fugees. Started out that way with Wyclef and what is that nigga's name? Prize. I always forget his name because I just think I don't think he's the best rapper to me. I wasn't a big fan, but the South was still on the rise because you had the No Limit, and then Cash Money came along, and then Juvenile hit you with some shit, and we was like, nigga, what? What are you talking about? What's the slang you use, huh?
That's you with that badass business, huh? That's you that can't keep old head because you keep fucking the friends, huh? You gotta go to court, huh? You got service for cleaning for child support, huh? That was that nerve, huh? You ain't even might get a chance to say a word, huh? I know I ain't tripping. Don't your brother got some birds, huh? You won't bust one of them niggas' heads, huh? You ain't scared, huh? You know how to play it, huh? I know you just ain't gonna let a nigga come and broke you, huh?
It's almost like he couldn't hear. So he was like, That's how they talk down and know you though. That's how they get down. So we about to get into the 2000s. The 90s was dope, super dope. It's so much music that I could play, and it's so hard. Like, if you know me, this is like, I got a whole fucking 90s hip hop playlist full of gems from anybody that you can think of. It doesn't matter if it was north, south, east, west, does not matter. So we get into the 2000s. Like I told y'all earlier, Jay-Z actually came out, Reasonable Doubt dropped in 1996. And it was not a classic in 1996. You had to sit with that. That one was one of them, hidden gems that we could just kind of brushed over. But then he came along and he gave us some of the most memorable music. Like some of the I'm not even bullshitting you. When I play this one, you already know what it is.
Ho, ho, you are not ready. Unstoppable dynasty, young Hova.
I'm a hustler, baby.
Ho, hustler.
I just want you to know.
Ho, let you know.
It ain't where I've been, but where I'm about to go.
Top of the world,
now I just wanna love you.
Just wanna love you.
Be who I am.
Know you love me.
And with all this cash,
more money, more problems.
You forget your man. Now give it to me.
Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
But don't bullshit me.
Come on, give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
When the Remy's in the system, ain't no telling when I fuck 'em, will I diss 'em? That's what they be yelling. I'm a pimp by blood, not relation. Y'all be chasing.
I replaced them, huh? We still quoting that to this day, bro. That's what I'm saying about music. It's so timeless. It's endless. It's the hip hop. If you was brought up on the culture, then you already know what it is. So within the 2000s, we getting into the new millennium, and I just played you, Jay, and I did play you another diss joint back in the in the 90s that was like really tough. But Jay also kind of lightweight started some shit. He started some shit and couldn't even worry about it, winning a lot of people's necks. So he dropped this one.
ROC, we running this rap shit. Memphis Bleak, we running this rap shit. B-Mac, we running this rap shit. Freeway, we running this rap shit. Owen Sparks, we running this rap shit. Chris and Neat, we running this rap shit. The takeover. The break's over, nigga. God MC, me, Jehovah. Hey, little soldier, you ain't ready for war. ROC too strong for y'all. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight, pin to a test, chest in line of fire with your thin ass vest. You bringing them boys to men, them boys pull win. This is grown man B.I.
Cause I can't even play this whole joint because it'll take up half of my damn show. So fuck that shit. Anyway, here comes Nas.
Fuck Jay-Z. What's up, niggas? And yo, I know you ain't talking about me, dog. You? What? Fuck Jay-Z. You been on my dick, nigga. You love my style, nigga. Fuck Jay-Z. Fuck with your soul like ether. Teach you the king, you know you. Godson across the belly. I prove you lost already. Brace yourself for the main event. Y'all impatiently waiting. It's like an AIDS test. What's the results?
Not positive.
Who's the best? Pop, Nas, and Big.
Ain't no best.
East, West, North, South, floor style greetings.
So then when that thing took off, everybody wanted to have beef. It was an issue. It literally had you picking sides. And this is going on within New York. This is Queens versus Brooklyn. You had to pick. Who was you riding with? I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. Ether was hard as fuck. So was Takeover. Please don't make me choose which one went harder. Because Nas came for the neck. With the whole sample fuck Jay-Z. Came for the neck, bro. He was like, I ain't about to waste no time. I ain't about to give you no colorful, none of this bullshit and how you sitting around thinking about who am I talking about. I'm gonna tell you exactly who I'm talking about off the dribble. Here we go. And just went for the neck. So, I remember I told y'all hip hop has officially, spread it across the map. But it was one part that it really hadn't hit yet. We was like, when this shit dropped. Let me find it. I'm on my scroll right now. But when this one came out, it was like, who is this guy?
I'm going down, baby. No street in the rain. From a street sweeper, baby. Got ready to let it go. Listen to it pass.
Midwest officially introduced it into hip hop. What's up?
Down, baby. No street in the rain. From a street sweeper, baby. Got ready to let it go. Shimmy, listen to it pass. Light it up and take a breath.
It was like, who the fuck is this? Nelly had all of us doing the chicken head, all that down the way, all that St. Louis culture that he had popping off. It spread across the country to the point where it got to, it was, motherfuckers was wearing jerseys with the headbands, with the band-aid under the eye, literally copying this man's style. Nelly was very influential within hip hop for the Midwest. That was Midwest, and don't get it twisted because I do know that in this point, and I had to step back a little bit to the '90s, but not really. I'm in the mid. But Twista comes from Chicago. And Common had a joint he dropped in the 90s. I used to love her talking about hip hop. That was his older hip hop. He's from Chicago. But it went into this level that Chicago was, the Midwest really wasn't introduced into hip hop until like motherfuckers really started repping their hood real heavy. So, when this song came out, he let you know where it was. I'm from the Lou and I'm proud. He let you know that, St. Louis is here. We got hip hop going on, and we got it going on in St. Louis too. You ain't the only one. But let's head out west, shall we?
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G.
Snoop Dogg.
You know I'm mobbing with the D.R.E.
Yeah. You know who's back up in this motherfucker. So black the weed up there. Play that shit up, nigga. Yeah. Sup, Snoop?
Top dog, light 'em off, nigga, burn this shit up. DPGC, my nigga, turn that shit up. CPT, LBC, yeah, we hooking back up. And when they bang this in the club, baby, you got to get up. Thug niggas, drug dealers, yeah, they giving it up. Low life, yo life, boy, we living it up. Taking chances while we dancing in the party for sure. Slip my hoe a 44 when she got in the back door. Bitches looking at me strange, but you know I don't care. Step up in this motherfucker just to swing in my hair. Bitch, quit talking, quit walk if you down with the set. Take a bullet with some dick and take this dope on this jet.
Nigga said take a bullet with his dick.
your ass get cracked.
Bitch, shut your trap. You gotta love Uncle Snoop. Snoop dropped in the 90s. Him and Dre came out with some incredible, very memorable music. Like I told you, I couldn't fit all this shit in. There's so much music that you gotta get into. But this was 2001, The Chronic. Next episode, motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? You can't mention hip hop without mentioning the West and Dr. Dre and Snoop and NWA and Ice Cube and Ice-T and all the influences that came from the West. Very Too Short, E40. All these things are very important pieces to hip hop, and I'm happy that it did happen and spread it out west. But I gotta get to my ladies though. Let's say I'm gonna talk Missy. Missy is Missy Elliott. Actually dropped in the 90s, late 90s, mid 90s, what have you. She dropped some of the most memorable music videos I've ever seen to date. Like, Missy's video game is not to be tested. Like, she was way ahead of her time. But then when she came out with this joint, I said, wait a minute. Let me find it. Hold 1 second. This one right here though. Wait for it. Load it up one time. Hold on. Hey, there we go. Hit me. Hit me. Give me some news. Give me some news.
Mississippi putting it down. I'm the hottest round. I told y'all y'all can't stop me now. Listen to me now. I'm lasting 20 rounds. And if you want me, then come on get me now. Is you with me now? Then biggie bounce. I know you dig the way I switch my style. Holla, holla. People sing around. The people gather round. The people jump around. Get your freak on. 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 Get your freak on.
Get your freak on. That music video is crazy. A lot of cameos in that one too. So we gonna head down south a little bit because I'm trying to wrap up the early 2000s because we got some 2010 and now that I gotta get into. So there was this guy. It's a little guy. I don't want to call him little because he's a grown ass man. But it goes by the rapper. His name is T.I. And I'm going to go ahead and put it out here for you that don't know. T.I. invented trap music. That's why one part of the reason why he calls himself the king. But when he dropped this one, we already knew what was up.
ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. Hey, you niggas better exit ASAP, 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 I'm almost grand hustle, got the mind and the muscle, 50 carats in the crown just to shine on you suckers. Still told the block 40 for the haters and the bust. Fuck probation if a nigga try to play me, I'ma bust him. I don't need no security, reaching for my jewelry. Get your niggas pop quick, feel full of hot shit. Fresh out the box till hot, then I drop 6. Made a $250,000 in the pen, getting stock till. Haters wanna stop till, mad cause they not till. Ball every summer so your baby mama job till.
You niggas better answer ASAP. ASAP. Yeah, T.I.P. the inventor of trap music. Long after that, because T.I.'s from Atlanta. Remember I told you Outkast is from Atlanta also. They just basically gave you another version, another side of what Atlanta was like. They invented the trap music. T.I., ushered in. He had an album, first album was called, I'm Serious, of course. And then he had an album called Trap Music. So, then you had other offsprings within that. You had Jeezy, you had Gucci, you had, those are like the two big ones that like really stand out to me when it comes to this trap music stuff. But of course, not far along, we was about to get into the reign of someone that we consider him an icon now. We probably didn't back in the day, but this is a little guy. We used to be a part of his group called Hot Boys. Call him Lil Wayne. And at one point, Lil Wayne was going the fuck off. You could not turn on your radio, you could not turn on your TV without seeing this nigga somewhere on somebody's song. He literally, I would always say that he oversaturated himself, and that's fine at certain points in music, because if you go back and do your researches and listen to other music, you'll come to find out there was other rappers that was doing the same thing. But then when this shit dropped, this just kind of like changed everything.
Your money.
A millionaire, I'm a young money millionaire, tougher than Nigerian hair. My criteria compared to your career just isn't fair. I'm a venereal disease, like a menstrual bleed through the pencil and leak on the sheet of the tablet in my mind, cause I don't write shit,
cause I ain't got time. That's just one song. Just one song. And let me, God bless the dead. Let me go ahead and give a little shine to also someone that was a part of that trap music era for a little bit. Shawty Low, rest in peace.
Hey, hello, they know, hello, hello, they know, hello, they know, hello, they know, Shawty Low, I got flavor.
God bless the dead. R.I.P. Shawty Low. But then, within all these reigns, it's like so many different gems was dropped. This one stuck out to me. Cause the beat's just fucking ridiculous. Walker lost his mind on this one. I ain't gonna hold you. You better know this shit right here.
I go hard in the motherfucking paint, nigga. Leave you stankin', nigga. What the fuck you thinking, nigga? I won't die for this shit or what the fuck I said. Front yard, raw day with the SK. See Gucci, that's my motherfucking nigga. I hang in the jail with them hits, boy, killers.
Yeah. You had to, like, even, for me, especially me, if you know me, like, I was really, the reason of how hip-hop came along was because of my brother. And my brother was big on New York rap. And so anything that was pretty much up north, East Coast, whatever, I was listening to it because that's what he was listening to. So it came to a certain point around 2010. We're in the 2010s now. Welcome. Of hip hop. So, and at that point, yeah, you on the conscious shit. You listen to your Black Star, your Talib Kweli, and although you listening to all that, you still listen to Tip, and I'm talking about Q-Tip, not T.I. You still listening to all those things, but you couldn't escape the music that they had pumping out of the South, especially if you was on the music scene. There was no way you could get away from it. But then this light-skinned guy from Canada came and pretty much put his stamp, like, I'm here. I don't know what the fuck y'all gonna do about it. And he's still reigning. I'll give him that. But it started with this one.
This is not to get confused. This one's for you. Baby, you my everything. You all I ever wanted. We could do it real big, bigger than you ever done it. You be up on everything. Other hoes ain't never on it. I want this forever. I swear I can spend whatever on it. Cause she hold me down every time I hit her up. When I get right, I promise that we gon' live it up. She made me beg for it till she give it up. And I say the same thing every single time. I say you the fucking best. You the fucking best. You the fucking best. You the fucking best. You the best I ever had. Best I ever had.
So catchy ass shit. You know how Drake do. This is like one of my favorite projects of his though. I love like beginning Drake. That's just me. So of course I'm not gonna, skip over I'm trying not to skip over anybody, but there's so many different artists to touch on and to talk about and to give their shine and how they changed the game. It's so much that it's hard to cram into like 1 hour. So I don't want to see no comments. You forgot this, you forgot that. I'm gonna forget it, guys, because I'm just trying to give you a little blanketed hip hop history lesson. I can't go in depth. That would take me hours upon hours, and I'd have to do at least 4 or 5 shows, maybe even 6. Bring in some hip hop analysts. I have to do all this extra. We ain't got that kind of time. We on the block, bro. You know what I'm saying? We literally on the block, and it feel like I'm just shooting the shit to my youngins, to my old ones, to whoever that is listening. And I'm just trying to give y'all a little insight into hip hop and really pay my homage and my ode to hip hop and the different songs that kind of just stick out to me. And of course, I can't pick them all, but I can give y'all little clips and little snippets. So there's this guy, it's Kanye West. Kanye West dropped a very classic album. College Dropout is an amazing album. It actually came out in 2004. But this song that you hear playing in the underlay, it's Monster. Kanye kind of showed his ass, but really more importantly though, Nicki Minaj went on. Hopefully I can get to her part. If not, I'm just gonna let it play, and then when it gets to her part, I'm gonna turn that shit up. What's up?
Gossip, nigga, just stop it. Everybody know I'm a motherfucking monster. I'ma need to see your fucking hands at the concert. I'ma need to see your fucking hands at the concert. Profit, nigga, I got it. Everybody know I'm a motherfucking monster. I'ma need to see your fucking hands at the concert. I'ma need to see your fucking hands. The best living on dead, hands down, huh? Let's talk more here right now, huh? And my eyes more red than the devil is, and about to take it to another level, bitch. Now who you going with?
Ain't nobody got is this. With Mr. Kanye West, I'll just talk about him while he playing the background. Right now in 2017, we kind of looking at Kanye a little sideways. Understandable, because if you understand everything that he said, done, and you kind of gonna look at him like, the fuck is wrong with you? I know he's crying for attention. I know that, and I'm starting to think it's a little mental. Of course, he even came out, dyed his hair blonde, went up there and met with Trump, went on a 20-minute rant on stage about Jay-Z and Beyonce and DJ Khaled and Drake, and just throwing a whole bunch of different shots. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with him? And he literally spiraled out of control with his rhetoric to the point where he had to shut down his tour. Just shut it down. The Life of Pablo tour got shut down. I'm still very, very pissed about it, because he was coming to Louisville. Very upset, because we haven't had a hip hop concert in the city of Louisville, and I can't tell you how many years. The last one that major hip hop concert that I've been to was the Hard Knock Life tour. That's Jay-Z. That was Jay-Z, DMX, Ja Rule, Method Man, Redman, anybody that was signed to Rockefeller at the time, anybody that was signed to Def Jam at the time was on that ticket, and it was the dopest concert I had ever been to in my life. So of course, at this point as an adult in my life, I wanted to see another hip hop concert that I felt like was going to be super, super dope. Now, I have seen a couple other concerts that were dope. I just really I have a passion and a love for hip hop. I wanted a hip hop concert, like 100% of it. So we in the 2010s to now, so we getting a little close and a little current. So for the kids that are listening, for the adults that are listening, I kind of brought you up to speed of where we're at now. But there's a couple other artists that came along within from I want to say 2012 to now. You got Kendrick, you got Cole, you got Big Sean, you got Wale, you had Rick Ross, you have all these, DJ Khaled was doing this thing about the DJ aspect back. But look, it's Nicki, guys. Here, listen to this.
With a bad bitch that came from Sri Lanka. Yeah, I'm in a tanga, color of Willy Wonka. You could be the king, but watch the queen conquer. First things first, I'll eat your brains. Then I'ma start rocking gold teeth and fangs, cause that's what a motherfucking monster do. He a dresser from Milan.
I'm a motherfucking monster. Nicki ain't been that dope since, sadly. Fuck. Anyway, so we're getting more current. And now the argument has kind of switched because, you know, in each era of hip-hop, before decades that we just traveled through, there's always the argument of who's the best, who's the dopest, who's the hottest, who's this. And there's some that are literally on the Mount Rushmore of hip-hop. You can't touch them. There's no point in it. Leave them there. You can't attest to it. But it's all about your personal preference of what you want to put in the... who you want to put on Mount Rushmore as far as for your hip hop. And then we keep in mind within, you know, throughout our country, there's other bigger monuments, so you're not gonna, you know, neglect anybody. You can have somebody for the Lincoln Monument. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different places that you can place people, the artists within hip hop. So, and they can switch. It's cool. But the argument really has become, since this album dropped this year, it's like, yo, is this nigga really the kid? Like, is he next up? Is he the GOAT? He's up for new guys.
Yeah. Hey, I remember syrup sandwiches and crime allowances. Finesse a nigga with some counterfeits, but now I'm counting this. Parmesan with my accountant lips. In fact, I'm down in this. You say with my boobay tastes like Kool-Aid for the analyst. Girl, I can buy your Westie girl with my base stuff. Ooh, that pussy good. Once you sit it on my taste buds, I get way too petty once you let me do the extras. Pull up on your block and break it down. We playing Tetris. AM to the PM, PM to the AM phone. Piss out your per diem, you just gotta hate them phone. If I quit your BM, I still rock Mercedes phone. If I quit this season, I still be the greatest phone.
My left stroke just went viral.
Right stroke.
Yeah. You got guys like that, but then something weird kind of happened. We're gonna step back a little bit, because then this guy came along and it was like, wait, is this Future? Like, we couldn't. Are we mimicking? There's a part in hip hop where they feel like mimicking is okay and you can bite this person's style. But at first, without reading anything, it was like, ain't this Future? No. This kid's from New York. He ain't even from the South. Sound just like Future, don't he? I ain't even gonna hold your shit hard, though. I ain't even gonna front.
I got broads in Atlanta. Just to the in the family. Credit cards in the scammers. Hitting the licks in the van.
Now we getting to a point where it's like, okay, I'm not a part of the Future Hive or whatever. I like a couple of his joints, but we've gotten to a point in hip hop where it's a lot of drug talk, and it's not from the point of view of the seller. Not the dope dealers, like, you know, the Jays, the Pushers, the Jada Kiss, anybody that was pushing drugs. Now they got the kids taking drugs. What the fuck is going on?
Rep the set, gotta rep the set. Chase a chick, never chase a bitch. Chase no bitch. Mask on, fuck it, mask on. Mask on, fuck it, mask on. Percocet, Miley Percocet. Chase a chick, never chase a bitch. Chase no bitch. 2 cups, toast her with the gang. From full steps to a
now we got kids. It was one thing, out. Uncle Snoop was pushing the, the weed flower, and he wasn't the only one, because you had people like, Cypress Hill, other people like Method Man and Red Man that was smoking their weed. Nothing wrong with it. But now in 2017, we done kind of ushered into a whole nother side, a dark side, because as I'm a weed smoker. If you don't know, now you know. But that's for health purposes, of course. Not always, but But see, the drugs that Future's talking about taking, Percocet, Molly in a Percocet, that's an upper and a downer. Drinking lean, it's just too much. Like, I call it junkie rap, but to each his own. But if you, throughout the travel of where we're at now with hip hop, it ain't just, that's just one side of it. I just played You Humble by K-Dot, and then you got this song too. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different sides and different angles that you can look at hip hop from. But you get to a point where, eventually hip hop grows up. and realizes, yeah, maybe what I was saying beforehand wasn't the best idea. So you can see hip hop become an adult. Jay-Z did it this year with 444. Check it out.
Letting you down every day. Why do I keep on running away?
Often womanized, took for my child to be born, see through a woman's eyes, took for these natural twins to believe in miracles. Took me too long for this song, I don't deserve you. I harassed you out in Paris, please come back to Rome, you make it home. We talked for hours when you were on tour, please pick up the phone, pick up the phone. I said don't embarrass me, instead of be mine. That was my proposal for us to go steady. That was your 21st birthday. You matured faster than me. I wasn't ready, so I apologize. I seen the innocence.
That's heavy. If you're a Jay-Z fan, you already see the evolution, how he has evolved as an artist, as a man, as a husband, as a father. And he came up in hip hop. We literally saw him grow up in hip hop. Went through so many different phases of being, feeling like he can't really trust love, a woman. Him dealing with his father, not having his father in his life. Those issues from dealing with, death that may has happened around him, losing his best friend, R.I.P. Biggie Smalls. I'm just saying, eventually, as everything, you just keep going. And this is not even the end of hip hop, not even close, because it's only 44 years old. That's what's so crazy, is that now we lived long enough to see something that started way back in 1973 all the way to 2017 be one of the biggest things ever that they said was not gonna survive. In hip hop, you made it. You're a grown ass man, hip hop, and you have influenced the world like you never understand, and you have matured, and you have shown that you have so many different layers and sides to you that it makes you such an amazing and remarkable person. That's what you are, hip hop. You have grown up into a grown ass man. So we gonna close it out. We gonna close up the block, but we also got to keep all these things in mind, because with hip hop, it helps us through so many different things, and it also helps us through injustice. So I gotta close it out with something just epic. But while I'm looking it up right now, I want y'all to go ahead and do me a favor and follow me everywhere: Twitter, IG, Snap, whatever. Thug Jelena Jolie everywhere. Make sure you follow up with the 321 podcast. We got our page popping on Instagram. Get the latest in entertainment and music. We'll hook you up. Cause sometimes, Baller Alert and, Shade Room ain't always gonna give you the musical side of it or the entertainment side of it. They wanna give you just a little bit of all that. So we just gonna give you the entertainment and the music side of that. But gotta close out the show with this. It's so much bigger than this. Hip hop, you live on, you thrive. You made it to 44. Make sure you show your ass in 45. Hip hop, we love you. I love you, hip hop. I'm out.
When it hit, you feel no pain. White folks that controls your brain. I know better than that. That's game, man. We ready for that. 2 soldiers head of the pack. Matter of fact, who got the gat and where my army at? Rather attack and not react. Back to beats, it don't reflect on how many records get sold on sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Whether your projects put on hold in the real world. These just people with ideas. They just like me and you when the smoke and cameras disappear again. The real world.